Hi guys, welcome back to Mansell Media Corner, and today's video I'm just going to show you some of my WWE true stories of shows and match compilations, etc. And also you know, earlier when I did my Q&A video, I've actually found the two best of ITV Wrestling. So, starting off with the best of In Your House, I believe this is presented by Todd Pettingale, I believe it is. But on the front you can see the likes of Canadian Stampede, Bret the Hitman Hart versus the legendary Stone Cold Steve Austin. Shawn Michaels with the Ringed Eagle Championship. The Rock and Mankind. British Bulldog and Bret Hitman Hart. Triple H himself. And The Undertaker with the WWE World Tag Team Champions. You can see that is the match. It starts off with the very first ever In Your House. But the Hitman Hart versus Hakushi. You've got the likes of Classic Intercontinental Championship match. Champion Double J versus, I think he's just turned babyface, Shawn Michaels. Rosenman versus Dean Douglas. The Hog Pen match. Hunter Stormzy versus Henry Godwin. It's got Bret the Hitman Hart versus the British Bulldog. Got Shawn Michaels versus Diesel, which is a really good championship match. I think that may have been one of the last times you ever saw Diesel parting in WWE at the time. Got Shawn Michaels versus Mankind, Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Triple H in a rare heel versus heel. You've got Undertaker versus Mankind. Got a fatal 4-way for the WWE Championship. Stone Cold Steve Austin, Bret Hart versus Vader versus The Undertaker. Got an awesome, one of my favourite matches for 1997. Got the Hart Foundation, which I believe is British Bulldog, Owen Hart, Bret Hart, Jim Neidhart and Brian Pillman versus Stone Cold Steve Austin, Ken Shamrock, Goldust and LOD. Classic match from Ground Zero, Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker. And for 98 you've got Stone Cold Steve Austin, Owen Hart, Cactus Jack and Chainsaw Charlie, who was the late great Terry Funk, who passed away this year, versus Triple H, New Age Outlaws, which is Road Dogg and Billy Gunn and Savio Vega. We got Fully Loaded, we've got Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Undertaker versus Mankind and Kane. From Judgment Day, got Ken Shamrock versus Mankind. And some Valentine's Day Massacre, you got The Rock versus Mankind. As you can see with these discs, I'm well coloured. You've got yellow, blue and pinkish. And of course, the true story of the Royal Rumble, which it may have been just after Royal Rumble 2016, I think it came out, because it tells you the story of AJ Styles when he came to WWE that particular year. But matches include, if I remember, 1991 WWE Championship match, Sergeant Slaughter versus the Ultimate Warrior. 2001, 1994, and the very first ever Royal Rumble, 1998. You've got Becky Lynch, I think it was against Charlotte Flair in the Royal Rumble 2016. But it's really a good documentary. If you like the true story of these events, they're worth watching. Then, I don't know guys, if this is a rare version of the true story of WrestleMania, but it's got the German writing. But as you can see on the front, there's a very young looking Mr. McMahon, also known as Vince McMahon. But the matches are like, just there, you got the first WrestleMania main event, Hulk Hogan and Mr. T versus Roddy Piper and Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff. Absolute classic match, The Rock versus Hulk Hogan. First ever ladder match. Of course, you got Hulk Hogan versus Andre Giant. I think this has got Ricky Steamboat versus Macho Man Randy Savage. But it comes in a very nice slipcover. But this is like I think this covers WrestleMania 1, 2, I think WrestleMania 27, I think. But let me know in the comments if any of yours has got the German writing or if it's an import. Then, as it's November in a month's time as I'm recording this, it's the Anthology Survivor Series. This covers the first Survivor Series, 1987, on Thanksgiving night in America, to 1991. Highlights include The Undertaker's debut, The Undertaker winning the WWE Championship in the first title match at the Survivor Series at the time, and lots of like other highlights. But yeah, awesome compilation if you've seen any of these. And the same here, gorgeous slipcover, but this is, I've only got the volume 1, but I think they did 4 volumes, which was like 93, I'm going to say 98 I think, I can't remember, but this is volume 1 and this comes I think from the WWE Network version. But this is the first SummerSlam. Some of the highlights of this: in the Continental Championship, Honky Tonk Man versus the Ultimate Warrior, Demolition versus the Hart Foundation's Equality match, Mega Bucks $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase and Andre the Giant versus the Mega Powers Hulk Hogan and Macho Man Randy Savage. Of course, he had a real life feud at the time, Russo Brothers versus the British Bulldog. And then we go to 1989. Ravishing Creed versus Ultimate Warrior Quality Intercontinental Championship. And if I recall, this one hasn't got the rare swearing version, which I think, I'm not too sure if it's got it on the network, with Ravishing Creed and Mean Gene segment. And they got a very interesting SummerSlam 1990, but there's only one match for me. It's Demolition versus Hart Foundation 2 out of 3 falls match, but you got the return of Hulk Hogan. I'm not too sure if he's actually out of action or he's filming Suburban Commando at the time. He fights his nemesis at the time, Earthquake, but he had a very weird storyline with $1 Million Man at the time buying Sapphire, who was at the time the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes' manager in the wrestling. But he had an awesome SummerSlam 92, quality in the Continental Championship match. Mr. Perfect versus Bret Hart in 1991. $1 Million Man versus Virgil, classic match. He had at the time the first proper pay-per-view televised wedding, of course. Match made in heaven, Macho Man Randy Savage and Miss Elizabeth's wedding, and of course, yeah, this would have been the network because I've got the updated version. So I might do a comparison of the two. But this was from the US. It hasn't got the dark matches, but you've got the likes of Virgil versus Nails, not a very good match. Got Rick Martel versus Shawn Michaels, quite a fun match. Of course, you got the Intercontinental Championship and WWE Championship match as well included. So, my good friend Big Dan Bunny, I know he did the A to Z of the British Best of ITV Wrestling, but on the front you can't really tell who it is, but it's a very unfriendly sporting mullet. The legend Kendo Nagasaki and Mark Rollerball Rocco, I think his name was. Also, you got they're like the British version of Hulk Hogan and Big Daddy. So you got the best of ITV Wrestling presented by the late great Dickie Davis. Of course, would be doing World of Sport. And of course, you've got the likes of Big Daddy versus Giant Haystacks, the unmasking of Kendo Nagasaki, Les Kelly versus Leon Hours, of course, is the actor Brian Glover, I think was an American Werewolf in London. Got tag team action, you've got McManus and Steve Logan versus Kendo Nagasaki and Gorgeous George. Vidvin is in this one as well. But we don't mention the No Holds Barred. A certain disgraced, you know, former presenter was a wrestler, but yeah, that's quite a good document. Here are the matches, so don't think those got any of the... This one stems from like 1972 about. Last one, the main one's 1980, 82, 78. So I definitely know Big Dan Bunny's covered this in his obscure DVDs. Again, notable wrestlers who was, I don't know, can't really tell, but McMichael versus Agent Speed, I think just passed by, but a lot of these gimmicks would be laughable if these were WWE. For instance, you got Cat Weasel there with looks like a rubber duck on top. You got the late great Giant Size Stacks, Big Daddy, Mark Rollerball Rocco and Kendo Nagasaki. This is just like a little pamphlet. Some of the wrestlers, and of course, if he was around in the 70s, Kent Walton, was the commentator, but you've got the legend that is Kendo Nagasaki. A very young British bulldog before he made his name in the WWE, and of course the legendary Dynamite Kid, and very young looking Fit Finlay. Of course this guy could actually act as well. Pat Rhodes, I believe, starred in Never Say Never Again, which is 83 was the remake of Thunderbolt, but he's famous for getting killed in Raiders of the Lost Ark. The plane scene. You had Mick McManus, who of course had pig ears. Some of these guys are not well known. You got Steve McCoy, Bert Oil and Vic Faulkner, Tarzan Johnny Wilson. Of course, they're like Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant of their company was Giant Size Stacks, who would have been the Andre the Giant. Of course, Hulk Hogan would have been the Big Daddy. He's got it. I'm going to say this is in the 90s because that's Big Daddy, and you can't tell, but it's a British Bulldog, then WWF t-shirt. And then you got Mark Rollerball Rocco in that picture. Steve Logan number 2 and Steve Logan number 1. Here's Cat Weasel, called, his real name was Gary Cooper. But Les Kelly's a famous British wrestler. There's Cat Weasel. Mr. Muscles Johnny England. Front. Let's zoom in. Alan Dennison, I think. Yes, there's Alan Dennison. Amazing Kung Fu, Eddie Hamill. I'm this Clive Myers. I don't think he's the presenter of Mastermind. But yeah, some famous British wrestlers. Nearly all dead now. I mean, the only one I can think of the world of sports, Finley, but yeah. So, in the comments, let me know some of your favourite British wrestlers, like Big Daddy, British Bulldog, Dynamite Kid, Kendo Nagasaki, and etc. And please subscribe to Beat Down Bunny and Jim Jam Movies and TV, my good friend James Millership and Beat Down Bunny. Both you awesome YouTubers. I've just subscribed to another member of the Wrestling YouTube, Rocket Dave. Give him a sub as well. He's a hell of a YouTuber. So thank you for watching Mansell Media Corner and this quick collection of documentaries of WWE and quick look at the best of ITV Wrestling. And anyhow, thank you and goodbye, and have a great day or night wherever you are. Thank you.